Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to set up your desktop Webull. Um, so first thing you want to do is when you open the Webull desktop application, you're probably going to be presented on your watch list or probably somewhere on stocks. And the first thing you want to do is you want to go to customized, because we don't deal with any of this bullshit that they give you. Now you can do the same thing with paper trading. This is a paper trade account that I've done in one video. You can follow along on your paper trading stuff. But for right now, we're just going to go to customize. We're going to go to blank layout, and we're going to start creating our layout. First thing you want to do is you want to click on your charts. You're going to want two charts. You're going to want your options. You're going to want your order books. Let's see, go to trade. You might want your account P&L. I do like to have that just so I know how much I'm up, how much I'm down. Your positions, you're going to want those. So we got stocks. Anything else I'm going to need? General. Anything else I'm going to need? Market. Anything else I'm going to need? I think we are good. Some people like to have the index chart. I really don't like to have them. That's just me. I feel like it's kind of clutter. But if you want to have that, that's on you. Some people like to have the heat map so they know which sector is going really good, which sector is going really bad. For example, if like banking is extremely green right now, then obviously, my calls and my calls are going to go in banking. If I see that, these certain sectors are doing really bad, the media sectors are doing really bad, I'm obviously going to put puts on them. So this helps with sympathy plays. I think it's kind of nice to have. Sometimes I have it on there, sometimes I'll look at it, but this can take up like a whole screen within itself. Like, it's pretty big. But I digress. I'm gonna see if I can incorporate it. If not, it's not the end of the world. There's other things you can do without the heat map. I'm just trying to make sure we have everything that we're gonna need just to get you guys set up. Some people like to have the order entry in there. Let's see, it's not what I wanted. The classic trade, where you can buy stocks, the market, all that things. So it depends on which layout you like. I think I prefer this one. You can buy 100 at the ask, sell 100. You can change it up, make custom settings for these, active trade settings. For the buys, you can, instead of doing 100, you can do like 10. You can do a hotkey for them. The bid, you can do like quantity, automatically do 10. You can do a hotkey for them. If I press F, it automatically buys them for me. I'm going to set these to default just so they're already there. And I think that's pretty good for now. So first things first, I'm going to start off and make sure my P&L thing is as small as I can make it, because obviously we don't need it that huge. Positions are going to be down here. I'm going to make this decently small. I'm probably going to stretch it out a bit more just so it's not taking up the entire space. My order entries, I'm going to make it about right here. Let's see if I can actually, god damn it. Actually, I'm going to make this a bit taller. Can I make this a bit taller? Actually, no, I want to keep it as stacked as possible. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. My book data is going to go right here. My option table is going to go on this chart. I'm going to combine those two. Here, I'm going to put my 1 minute chart all the way over here in this corner. I'm going to extend it out. I want to see a lot of movement in this chart. I'm going to bring this up around right here. I'm going to make this a lot bigger. Pretty big. Now for the first thing I'm going to do is, instead of doing 6, I'm going to go do all. Auto placement on calls. I never want to see both. I'm going to go ahead and edit some of the styles because it has, mid, implied volume, open interest, delta, gamma, theta. I want to see a bit more than just those. I don't need to see mid. I need to see volume. Percent change is good. Some people like to have the high, lows, and the open value. just to tell me if the contract's overinflated, what's going on there. I don't need this, don't need this. Applied volume's pretty good. And yeah, that's basically all I need from that. You'll learn more about options. You should know pretty much a good amount about options already. See if I can close this out. I don't need it overly huge for me. Just want to make sure I'm not going to close out too much. I want to see all this data presented. So that way I'm going to move this around. I want to see my open interest right next to my, let's see, I want to see my volume next to my open interest. My percent change can go back behind my implied volume. And then the high, low, and open. Actually, I want to see my open above my high and low. High and low should be next to each other. Delta's right here. You know, never trade really too far into the money because that means you're probably overpaying for it. Here, you know, you're probably underpaying for them relatively to how the market is doing. Obviously, you know, want to stay below 1 delta, as far away from it as possible. But yeah, so these contracts are pretty good. I want to see that my volume is greater than my open interest. It's always a good sign. I want to see the last price it was sold from. So obviously people are asking 30 cents, the bid's 29, but it's selling at 30 cents. Obviously there's a rush for people to get into here. 0.46, 0.47, if it's sold at 0.46 and asks 0.47, you know, obviously I'm seeing that more people are willing to, you know, sell the option lower to get out of their position. I'm seeing a lot of this with the bid. This one, 1.03, sold at the ask. But there is a lot of volume, you know, a lot of things I want to see. Implied volume, I never really want to see this past like 80%. You know, if it's really high implied volume, then I'm obviously going to stay away from it. That means it's factoring in a lot of movement already in the contract that I don't want to pay for. So I kind of want that there. My order books, I want to make this a bit, you know, not too big, just a bit bigger. Let's see, I can go ahead and make my charts a bit bigger. Make this a bit bigger here. I want extended hours on. I'm gonna go ahead and make this a bit bigger just for my chart's sake. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and make this a bit smaller, just because I want it to fit in here. Order books is always very important. If I can just move my mouse correctly, goddamn. Now the P&L thing, it's always kind of nice to have. I think I'm going to combine these two actually. My P&L and positions, I'm going to combine those two. And I'm going to make this a bit bigger. I don't want to make it overly big because then it's kind of a waste of space. Now here, what I can do is I can go ahead and add more widgets. We love to see more widgets. All widgets. Now we have P&L positions. I want to see active order entry, quotes. Now what did I just say was going to be good? Oh, heat map. I would like to see my heat map. Now this one I would want pretty big. I don't want to see it scrunched up too much. You know, obviously I want to see a lot of movement. My watch list, explore list. If I want to see the healthcare map, I want to see what's doing good in healthcare. Moderna is always a good one to look at. CVS, UNH, Moderna. I don't see Moderna on here. Interesting. I know Pfizer, Moderna are big ones in the sectors. Obviously, if I'm seeing UNH go down, it's a pretty big hold on the heat map. Let's look at UNH. United Health. I want to see UNH. I actually haven't checked it out. See how they done. Massive gap. Down. Damn. That looks hard hitting. But look, if I look at UNH and I go to, you know, Moderna, we should be looking at the same chart almost relatively. Minus that spike down, but still up. If I look at mRNA and I go to Pfizer, almost the same chart, spike down. This one kind of followed the UNH line. If I go to CVS, this one just shot up and it kind of held, but it had some of its own little spike downs. Sympathy plays, sympathy plays. You know, these didn't really follow the SPY too much, you know, but they did follow somewhat. Enough about that. But yeah, I think that's basically all you really could need. Some people like to do more, some people like to do less. People like to do volume analysis. Now, I don't know why people like to do that. If they see a bunch of red, you know what I mean? I'm not a fan. I personally don't use it, but if you have the space, totally use it. You know, just some things I would like to add to this collection. But most importantly, let's start setting up your charts. You saw how I set up the options. You want to see all that. You know, obviously you want to see all your list of days. These are very important. You know, people like to do the closest expiration. That usually gets the most volume. So those are the ones that trade. Those move faster. Obviously all options move. Just how much volume is in the option is always important. As far as charts go, I want to have my 1 minute and I want to have my 5 minute chart, right? So this is my 1 minute. Here's my 5 minute. I'm actually going to go ahead and set all these into groups. It's going to be group 1. Everything's going to be in group 1. I love to see group 1. Now, if you have another monitor, you can do another setup, and you probably could do another stock and have that all set up in group 2. If you have enough space, you can add another chart, a third chart on one screen if you have the space for it. And you can put that in group 3, and you can kind of, you know, see how that one's moving. And you can buy options on that based on your SPY for sympathy plays, if that's what you want to do and that's what you're into. Obviously, I like to scalp the SPY, or if I'm looking at the SPY and I see that, hey, Rivian is making a lot of good plays today, or there's a lot of volume in Rivian, then I'll switch my options to Rivian, and then I wouldn't even look at Rivian, I'll just watch the SPY and see how that moves. And if I see the SPY taking up, I know my Rivian calls are going to be, you know, moving with it pretty soon. But that's just sympathy plays. We'll get into that later. So first thing for my charts, I'm going to want to edit my indicators, right? I don't want to see my moving average. What I want to see is my exponential moving average. So exponential moving averages. I want to see my VWAP. And I think that's all I care to see. Now there's others, you know, some other lines that I want to see as well, like volume. I want to see my volume there. Here's my volume down here. That's pretty much all I really care to see. Now for EMA, I don't want to see just the basics one they gave me. I want to see the 5. No, I want to see the 8, the 10, and 21. And then for style, I'm going to change the colors. I want red. I think I'm going to do more of a red. Kind of make this a little bit more bright red. I'm probably going to do more of a green color. Just do any colors that really stand out to you more. A green, and I'm going to do a blue. I like blue. Very big blue fan. And I'm going to select all these boxes. So then I have my VWAP, my EMA, and all that good shit. Click done. And now here, oh, I'm going to move this down. Now I want to see my volume. Because if I look here, I want to see how much volume is in this candle. Obviously, there's 2 mil volume in this candle. If I look down here, I see 2 mil volume right here in this area. I see 2 mil volume, and I see a green volume, so it's a green candle. You know, I want to see all this data up here, the high, the low, the open and close. You know, this is very important data to me. The EMA lines are very important. I want to know if it's trending below the EMA lines. I want to know if it's trending above the EMA line. So when it goes, You know, if it's constantly trending above it and it breaks below it, I know it by calls. You know, those are resistances. All that's very important. All that's very important. All of this is very important. Right? The VWAP is very important because that's another resistance line. Like as you can see here, we were below the VWAP, and then we broke above the VWAP, you know, and then we just kept above the VWAP. We never broke below it again. Now we made multiple attempts to, no, we didn't even touch it ever again. The volume weighted average price is the VWAP. Now I'm going to go over to this candle, this chart, sorry. I'm going to go ahead and edit my indicators, and I'm going to do the exact same thing, right? I want my EMAs, I want my VWAP, and I want to see my volume. For my EMAs, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, it's my VWAP. EMAs, I'm going to do 5, 10, 20. And instead of 5, I'm going to do 8. Instead of 10, I'm going to do 21. And I forgot to recolor them, so that's going to be weird. I'm not going to recolor them, you know, just because I'm too lazy. But that's basically what I want to see. You know, 5-minute charts are always very important. Always want extended hours on, so I can see how the market does pre-market. Obviously, pre-market, we saw the stock run up pre-market. Right before the day started, we started seeing some volume in the pre-market. Boom, 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 right? 24K volume, 4K volume. We started seeing a lot of volume pre-market, 10K volume, you know, just 5 minutes before the market opened. Yeah, we knew we were going to run. So obviously when the market went down, calls were the best bet because you knew it was going to hold. There was a lot of people willing to buy the stock. After hours, kind of held very high. I'm assuming for the next trading day, you know, if it's not gapping down, you know, I'm assuming it's going to be another great run up. Obviously, there's a lot more factors, but we always want to leave our extended hours on. I kind of want to go over the little charts right here. I want to teach you how to read the charts. I want to teach. I cannot talk. I need to slow down my talking. Grasp all this information. It's very important. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save the layout. I'm going to name it whatever I want. You know, I'm just going to cancel this because I really don't need another layout. But I'm going to show you the layout that I use commonly. I'm going to call it Pro Large Screen. Now basically it tells me my P&L, my open positions. I do a lot of trading on my phone as well. So if I can, oh, I probably should get rid of this. Man, that's crazy. Anyways, but yeah, I have my open books, my order books, my active trade, my positions, my P&L for the day, and I have my charts with my EMA lines. Right? Now, something very important about EMA lines is that they're resistance levels. This line tells me, it's purple by the way, so purple up here tells me that in the past 21 days, the stock is around 382.26. You know, that's the average. This line tells me for the past, 10 days, the average was 382.61. You know, this tells me how much, like the stock obviously it's $20 above the average. You know what I mean? From the past so many days, right? And obviously it averages in today. This line up here, the EMA 8 line, which is my red line right here, tells me the average was 382.55. You know, these average lines are very important because they also tell me how much resistance we're going to have for the stock. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I don't expect the stock to drop below 382.55 because that's pretty low on the average. But as far as we can see, everything looks good. Volume is very important. I have my volume down here. As you can see, I have my 1, I have my 5. All both have my EMA lines. Up here, we can draw. We can do indicators. So obviously, just these lines aren't good enough. I know that we kept topping out right here. Let's kept topping out around here. So I know this is a resistance line going up. We were going down, had a little rise up, shot down again, had a rise up, kept shooting down, and eventually we couldn't break past this low point right here. We couldn't break past it, so I'm going to go ahead and draw another resistance line around here. Now you can do your resistance lines at the little flags of the candle or where the bases of the candle is at, but I usually like to do mine at the base. If it's going up, I like to do mine at the flags. Unless all the bases touch down around the same area, I really don't like to mark them. As you can see on this candle at 9:56 on my minute chart, we shot down to 380.54, but then we couldn't hold below that line, so we went back up and shot up. So obviously it's telling me we kind of bottomed out pretty well around here. Now we started moving up, right? And we broke past this resistance line, right? Next candle couldn't hold it, we shot down. And we shot down again, we shot down again, kept moving down, kind of had another little resistance here, and the entire time we're bouncing off our lines. See this candle right here? At 10:04, we bounced off our VWAP, so we went up. Next candle, we were trying to fight it. Next candle broke below our VWAP, started bouncing off our EMA 21 lines. And as you can see, each candle started moving up slightly, slightly, and slightly. Kept breaking past our candles. This candle touched a resistance we just made at 383.26. So obviously we're having resistance there. We broke down here. I wouldn't call this a resistance, but we did low, bottomed out. We broke below our VWAP right here. Next candle broke back up because we didn't want to hold below our VWAP. And then at 10:25, we broke past our 383.26 line that we just made because we're making resistance levels early on in our market. So we broke past it. We can also tell that this entire time we kind of trended sideways. And this is a bad line. I picked the wrong line. My bad. We trended sideways. So can I not draw trend line? As you can see here, we trended a bit sideways the entire time. This entire time we trended a bit sideways, with the exception of a few candles that broke in and out. But then when we broke up, it was kind of a bit of a run. Now we topped out pretty quickly, so that basically told us that, hey, our new resistance is 384.29, and then we fell below that resistance. We kept falling down, fell below our EMA lines, and suddenly we broke below our previous 383.26 line. Now, previous resistance becomes new supports. The second we break above those lines, they become new support lines, right? I don't know why I'm saying right, but that's what happens. Generally, that's what happens. When we break past the line, we want to stay above that new resistance line, right? So this is a new resistance. They broke below it and immediately wanted to come back up. And this entire time, we're trending sideways. We're trending sideways this entire time. And we are staying above the 383.26 line, right? That's a new support for us. So our stock never really wanted to stay below it. No matter how many times we tested, dropped below it, we always came back up. So that is new support. Now, this next line, we start trending upwards, right? We're on a bit of a bull run, right? Now, if you knew any terminology, bull means going up. We start crossing our new resistance, 384.29, which we marked previously all the way back here at 10:33. The time when we break through it, 11:10. Now we break above it and we start playing. Previous resistance becomes new support. So we start bouncing off this line. And as you can see, we're trending sideways pretty hard. We're waiting for a break up or break down the entire time. Every time we break down, we go back up. Previous resistance becomes new support. I'll say it a million times if I have to. Eventually, we do break down, and we don't come back up, right? So we break down, we don't come back up. right? But in the moment, you really can't predict it. What we do know is that we're making new resistance as we're going on. So when we break up, we have a new resistance all the way at 384.85, and we touched that line twice. So go down, touch it again, couldn't break through it, and we just keep testing this resistance. We tested it one more time, 384.85, couldn't break it again, so we start trending downwards. We're on a huge breakdown. However, we're still bouncing off our 383.26 line. We trend sideways for a bit on this line. Sometimes stocks like to make second runs, but this one looked like it was just going down. Huge tank right here, and then we started having our trend up. Immediately had our trend up. We tested the line again a couple times, but we were on our bull movement. Tested our 384.29 line, and then we broke past it, so then we kept above it. Broke below it, because we tested again our 384.75 or 384.85, and we just kept, bottomed out a bit. As we can see, we can make a new resistance at this low. I'm going to actually go ahead and do it at the base of the candle. Made a new resistance at the low. We're running back up. We're just trending sideways this whole time, but we're staying within our margins. It broke up. This closed at this above. This actually closed above our resistance of, if I can close at it. It broke above our resistance at, doesn't show me, 384.85. Actually went above our 384.85 resistance, so that was pretty good. It looked like it closed above it. So if I was trading and this was the final minute of the market, I would be putting all my money into calls right now, because I know that swinging it was going to be very, very profitable. So I'm expecting that when the market opens the next day, we're going to actually open above what we expect. We were trending sideways this entire time, big picture wise, and we ended and closed on an up. 3 mil volume closed on a buy. That's a hell of a lot of volume. We closed at a buy, which is extremely important. Why are people wanting to buy the stock right before the next trading day comes in? Obviously, because a lot of people are expecting the stock to go up. It just broke past this key resistance of 384.85. Crazy. I did not notice that till now, going over it. So coming back, taking a huge step back, a lot of things happen. We're looking at a lot of scalping. There was a lot of opportunity for money. Now coming back to here, we see all our movements come in, right? Now our 5-minute candles are very important. Obviously, if the candle is red for 5 minutes, then overall, for the whole first 5 minutes of the market, we're expecting red, right? I'm sorry. So at 9:30 it opened green. 9:30 to 9:35 we were expecting above what we started at. Oh wait, 9:35 was red. So from 9:30 to 9:35 we should be red. We're in a huge red trend. For each 5 minutes we're red. So every 5 minutes we're actually dropping in price. Now it's very important, because when the market opens, and let's say the market opens on the 5 minute and the 5 minute starts going green, that's a very big indicator that, hey, for the next 5 minutes, we're in an uptrend. We're in an uptrend for probably the next 5 minutes. Now the 1 minute, 5 minute, and the 30-minute candles are always very important. Now usually every 30 minutes, there's a lot of volume that kicks in, right? There's usually volume that kicks in on the 30, there's volume that kicks in on the hour, and there's volume that kicks in on the 5. So we see higher than normal volume every hour and every hour, every 5 minutes, every 30 minutes. So those are very key indicators. Like if I'm trading, right, and then suddenly at, let's say 10, now at 10 o'clock, I know there's going to be a new 5-minute candle. I know there's going to be a new 10-minute candle. I know there's going to be a new 1-minute candle. There's a new, I'm sorry, let me go back. I'm going out of order. I know at 10 o'clock, we're looking at a new 1 minute, we're looking at a new 5 minute, looking at a new 30 minute, and looking at a new hour, right? The new hour candle is also extremely important because that tells us how we're going to trend for the whole hour, right? Obviously, if we open up an hour candle extremely green, like we did right here, 10:01, we shot it up at 10:01, right? That means, hey, our hour is looking pretty fucking good, right? For this whole next hour, we're expecting green candles. Now, obviously, we don't, but we are up all the way. Even at 10:30, at the 30-minute mark, we're up, right? For the hour, we're up. Just everything's gone up. We started down here at the beginning of the hour and ended all the way up here. You know, technically a green hour. If you were to buy calls before that hour mark and you see it and it shot up, yes. So you would have made a good amount of money. Now, the hour candles are very important. Obviously, each candle, this candle from 1600, pretty important. 1600 candle, all the way to from 1500 to 1600. Let's see. Let's go all the way over here. Let's go all the way over here. All the way over here. So from 1500 to 1600, we are green. So 1600. Interesting. I don't know why it doesn't. Probably because it's like, no. Am I looking at the right candle? 1600. Yeah, 1600 should be red. So if we start at 1500, we should be red. Unless this is this last candle from 17. No. I don't know why it looks like that. That's weird. Because we did not peak out. We actually broke above this little resistance. Unless it didn't count. Unless it's not counting that in. Which we're above that line. I don't know why it didn't show it. But in the moment, if you guys look at my live trading video, you definitely see real-time candles. And you see how important those candles are. But basically in this video, you learned how to make your resistance lines. You learned how to read your charts. You know, candles are very important. Red candle's bad, green candle's good. There's things called pullbacks. You know, we opened our market very high today. Pre-market moved a lot. So obviously pre-market we shot up and then we shot down. That was our low, right? Now, also something I want to add is that before I start trading, before the market opens, I like to mark my pre-market low. I like to mark the pre-market high. And I also like to mark my days. So if I go on my daily chart, I shoot to whatever day we're on. Obviously that was, you know, the day of trading. So I go over here and I mark the day high and mark the day low. Obviously we gapped up this huge amount in the day. So this candle wouldn't have been necessary. But for candles like this one and this one where they have a little bit of overlap, you know, I like to mark them because they also show key resistance. Obviously, if the candle breaks higher than what the highest of yesterday was, you know, that's pretty good. There's going to be a lot more faith in the market. So I like to mark those candles, the highs, the lows of that candle, of the daily candles. But yeah, obviously I'm expecting next trading day to open up really high. You know, super duper high. I'm expecting that to, you know, if you were holding calls right now, you're in the money so much. You're in so much money right now. Guarantee it. Willing to bet on that. That's a contract I should have probably bought. But missed opportunity. Hindsight's a bitch. Moving on. You guys should know everything. You know, it never hurts to look at other sources, guys. Like, I cannot explain everything to you, but there are things. Like, if you look right here, this is called a pullback. You know, you're seeing high volume, 1 mil volume, 8 mil volume, and you have a, you know, small pullback. Notice how the volume diminishes as we go down. It goes from 1 mil, 1.17, and it goes to 600K volume. Right? Like, what? And then suddenly we get a higher green volume. Next candle was shit volume, 402,000 red, but we're getting a 1.7 million buy. Obviously, that's going to shoot up, right? So, and then we do see it. We see it shoot up. We trend sideways. We break below it. This is a pullback, guys. You know, and then we're running up, and we, you know, even the market trends sideways, we make runs up throughout the day. Plenty of opportunity to make money. Plenty of it. I was looking at the 5-minute candles for that. But as you can see, you know, if we're trading right here, it's a small pullback, shoots up. Obviously, if it's bearish and it's trending down, you know, the greens are pullback. If like overall, if you look at the 5 minutes and you're just seeing a bunch of, you know, your 5 minutes red and then you see a green candle on a 5-minute red, you know, that's technically also a pullback. You know, it's trying to be, you know, trying to buy out. But if you're in a 5-minute red candle and you see a green candle, it's not really going to mean much unless that green candle can turn your 5-minute candle into green, right? If you're in a red 5-minute, you have a green candle, and you know all of a sudden it starts moving up super high, and your red candle becomes green, you know, then maybe I would start looking at redoing your position. If you're in puts, maybe start doing calls. I don't know. But, you know, it all really depends on how the market's acting that day and if it's just, you know, a bull market or a bear market. This is obviously a very bullish market. It ran up super high. Also, very relative to yesterday, ran up super high. So I would keep that in mind. But basically, I taught you guys how to set up your charts. You know, I personally don't use the heat map that much, but it's definitely helpful if you want to, you know, kind of see how the overall market's doing. Let's say you know that Facebook is very green today on the heat map. Obviously, Snapchat is going to be very green. Probably Meta. I'm sorry. If I see Facebook is green today, right? Meta is doing really good. Sympathy plays on Meta is going to be things like Twitter, or it's going to be things like Snapchat. Those are sympathy plays. If social media is up, obviously calls on Snapchat and, you know, Twitter and Meta are probably going to be the move, right? If I see Moderna is just, you know, the healthcare industry is just going up and up, you know, what am I going to do calls on? I'm going to do calls on Pfizer. I'm going to do calls on, you know, Moderna. I'm going to do calls on CVS. United Health was a stock that we just saw right now. I'm going to do calls on those. So there are things called sympathy plays. You'll learn about them later. Very tired. Sorry, guys. But yeah, that's basically how to set up Webull, how to, you know, set up the charts, what to look for. Options are very good when you're like about to buy. I trade on my phone. I like to do my buy-ins on my phone because if I'm watching my chart, I'm going to look at my phone and I'm ready to, you know, I'm on my phone. I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to sell. I'm ready to do whatever, you know, because I hate having to move my mouse, click. Now, yes, there's hotkeys, but for options, there's not really that many hotkeys. But that's kind of basically what I like to do. Now, for Webull, there are other things I like to talk about. There are things such as, let's see. I feel like I'm going very fast. I feel like I need to slow down. But Webull does come with this little fancy paper trade account. Now, in this paper trade account, you can see, you know, how to, you can make like a very similar setup. I did a video over paper trading. It's, you know, it was pretty good. Pretty good paper trading video. Now, for paper trade, it's, you could day trade on it with however much money you want. You know, same rules apply. It's based on real-time market, except you're not really risking anything. I recommend everyone to start out with paper trading because it's helpful. And then there's obviously the customized. There's things called screeners. Now, I never really use these. Some people do. I don't. I don't have any care for them. I don't really look at much of this stuff. As you can see, your heat map is right here as well on this market stuff. So obviously, if I'm seeing, you know, the banking sector is going up, Citibank, JPM, Chase Bank, Bank of America, Schwab might be somewhere in here. I don't know. Wells Fargo. If I'm seeing banking is doing good, obviously I'm going to go heavy in banking. If I see Nvidia going good, I'm going to go heavy in like the semiconductors. If I see healthcare doing good, you know, obviously healthcare is probably the move. There's medias. Disney is considered a media. Fox. Let's see, what else is media? I don't understand why they don't put Facebook or anything like that. Roku. It's a good media one. Now there's other little sympathy plays like AMC, GameStop is a good sympathy play, Roblox. You know, all those are pretty good sympathy plays. All make their own little sector. But yeah, as you can see, oh look here, this is kind of cool. The healthcare is up 4%. You know, hardware, software, banking, all this stuff is up, guys. All that's up. You know, we're seeing very little negatives in those sectors. All very cool, all very important. You know what I mean? Like, those are all very good. You know, earnings reports. Bank of America earnings come out pretty soon. You know, Bank of America has pretty good earnings. You know, I'm obviously going to see the banking sector move a little bit more because there's going to be a lot more faith in, like, overall banks. Bank of America will probably be, like, the heaviest mover, though. But yeah, guys, that was just the heat maps I was ranting on about. But as far as this, get your setup done. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable. If you like multiple charts, you know, obviously the grouping is very important. Like if I want another chart on my screen and I wanted to do, instead of seeing SPY like 24/7 on this one, you know, this one screen, I can see my SPY right here, and then I can go over here and I can look at my Roblox. Right? Like, obviously, if my SPY is doing good, I know my Roblox is probably going to shoot up as well. Obviously, yeah. You can see how the movement on this one worked as well. Let's exit out here a little bit. Notice how Roblox and SPY kind of look like almost sisters. We had a, you know, SPY opened up really, really green. Roblox was down, and then suddenly shot up really, really green. Like, it's crazy, right? And then market started going down, Roblox started trending down, and then the market started going up, and Roblox started trending up. Like, pretty mental. The market opened pretty up, and Roblox kind of followed. And then, let's say, let's go to Meta. You know, Meta's another one. Meta is a popular trading stock of mine. Oh, I put ME. Meta is a very popular trading stock of mine. Obviously, you know, Meta kind of had the same. Oh man, I just click auto. Meta had the same kind of look as the SPY. You know, pullback, ran up, started running up. So yeah, Meta has a little bit more volume in like its movements. Meta's had a huge run up at the end. Just like the SPY had a huge run up at the end. Now those are sympathy plays. I'm obviously going to turn this into our group 1. So obviously let's change back to SPY. But if you have multiple like screens, you can put on, you know, let's say on your big screen, you can have the SPY. On your second screen off in the corner somewhere, you can have like Meta or Roblox. And then on your third screen, if you have one, you can put, you know, your heat map, your data for the day. I have a little bit of extra screens that you guys don't see. You know, my laptop is also a screen that I use. On my laptop, I have my heat map that I use frequently. I have my, I have another chart that I see, and then I have my options for that stock. So it's all very useful. I have Unusual Whales, which is a program that you guys will learn about later. But yeah, there's a bunch of tools that Webull offers you, and that's very important. Now, I also use my phone for trading. I mentioned that a couple times. Now, I use my phone, I buy my options on my phone, and I kind of watch the market, see how it's doing. And I'm on my phone, I'm kind of, very closely monitoring what's going on in the market. I'm seeing my options go up. Sometimes if I'm trading on my Webull account, then I see my positions right here. I always use Webull, even if I'm not trading on Webull, I always use their charts because their data is very important and it's very quick. I think I do pay for a subscription so I can get lightning data, real-time quotes. It's like $2 a month, guys. Like, pay for it, okay? And I think it just comes out of your brokerage account. Doesn't even charge your card, but definitely pay for it. It's worth it. Some people don't, but it's stupid, in my opinion, if you don't. Anyways, I always use the Webull charts. Like, even if I'm not trading on Webull, like, I can be on my phone trading Robinhood, trading on my Robinhood account, right? So, let's say I see the SPY going up, right? And if the SPY is going up, I'm going to go to Robinhood on my phone. I'm going to look at SPY calls, and I'm going to buy calls on my Robinhood app. Now, if I'm trading on Webull, I'll go on my phone in the Webull app, and I'll buy the calls on my phone from Webull. And then I'll see them right here. And then, if I'm trading on Webull, sometimes I'll just trade on here. But it's very quick for me, and I'm very familiar with the phone format that I can, easily get in and out of my positions like that. Get familiar with what brokerage you're using. I always recommend having multiple brokerages, like Webull, TD Ameritrade, Robinhood's always a good one. But moral of the story, I always use the Webull charts. I use the Webull data, use the Webull statistics, because this is how trading should look like. You know what I mean, guys? Like Robinhood's pretty good, and it's really nice when you're just getting into stocks. But Robinhood doesn't show you all this data. And Robinhood, the chart goes by like 5-10 minutes, and sometimes there's a lot of movement in that. And you can't just sit around waiting for, not knowing how the stock and the market's moving. Like, obviously, if I see a huge pull down in the market, you're not going to really see that on Robinhood. And you're not going to see, like, hey, the market just had a huge pull down, right? I'm not going to see that on Robinhood. I'm just going to see, like, oh, looks like it's up today. I'm going to buy in. So, Webull, I always look at the charts. I always read the data. And then on Robinhood, I'll buy my positions. But I'm still going off based on Webull. So I'll end it there. Your phone is always a great tool. Your iPad is a great tool if you have one. But, always use your Webull charts. You don't have to if there's something else that works. I think there's some charts that some people use called TrendSpider or Trendsetter. I think it's called TrendSpider. I don't use it. I used to. I forgot the name of it. Now it's bothering me because I used to use it. And I used to use it. I don't anymore because I just found that like everything I needed was on the Webull charts. I needed the volume. It was here. I needed, the data. It was all here. And, TrendSpider just kind of gave me the Webull charts. And I'm like, why pay for that when I can pay $2 a month and get so much better data and formats and layouts. So that's basically all about there. Yeah. I always recommend kind of getting familiar with your brokerage account that you're using. If you have TD Ameritrade, look up some videos on like how to navigate TD Ameritrade. Look up some videos on how to navigate Webull. Look up videos how to navigate Robinhood. Know how to trade on those apps, and just watch. Guys, Webull has this really cool setting called paper trading. It is super helpful. This is how a lot of people learn how to trade. It's super helpful. It's super convenient. It's super nice to use. Guys, like it's just like there's no hassle in it. Paper trading, you can set it up like blank format, just like this is right here. Now if I go to this paper trading setting, like Yeah, I already have this set up. I already have a setup for paper trading. It's not that bad. It's not hard to do, and you're trading real-time stuff, and you can set your limits, right? Now, like even when I'm not using paper trading, let's say I just feel like messing around in the market. I've already made some money today, or I'm recording a video and I want to show you guys what I'm doing. I'll use paper trading, and on my phone, there on the Webull app, there's a little section for paper trading, and I can buy and sell options on paper trading, and it shows my position down here. I don't know why I exited out. And shows my position down here, right? Like, it's a very helpful tool because this is how you practice, and you're not risking anything. This basically eliminates your learning curve. I always recommend this. I always recommend this. I think you guys heard enough about me yelling, and I always say I'm going to end the video here, but I keep going on. I always find something to say. Paper trading is a very good tool. Webull is a very good tool. I always recommend Webull. Robinhood's also very good. Oh, that's another thing to mention. Actually, I'll get into this in another video. But yeah, that's about it. You guys are on your way. I hope you guys have a good one, and good luck. Watch this video multiple times if you have to. I'll leave it at that, finally. Alright, bye-bye.